With interest rates so low, lots of people are tempted to look into buying a house, even taking the plunge. Now, a new poll indicates, a Scotiabank poll, indicates that nearly 20% of millennials, this is people age 18 to 34, they actually think the pandemic has accelerated their prospects, their plans of buying a home. A lot of them, though, are waiting for lower prices. Our guest is Teresa Black Hughes, a financial advisor at RGF Integrated Wealth Management. Teresa, thanks so much for coming on the show. Were you surprised to hear that such a relatively large number of millennials think the pandemic, well, I'm going to see it as an opportunity to speed up my home buying plans?
Not really, actually, because this group is one of the largest, fastest growing groups in all of our workforce. And they're also the largest living generation today. So, and that means that they're also more educated. So I think they're actually stepping back and looking, hey, I think there's something to be had here.
A lot of them, though, of course, are cautious in the sense they're waiting for house prices to drop. I mean, we do hear that this group has had it tougher than their parents even, in terms of getting regular, well-paid job. We're into this gig economy, for example.
It is a changing place, that's for sure, but there's still lots of opportunity. I actually ascribe to the theory that we are in an aging demographic. And so that means that there are going to be more opportunities for this particular generation. And I think they'll adapt very nicely into this opportunity.
You have some advice for millennials who are thinking about getting onto that housing ladder, if I can use that cliche. What are the most important things they should be thinking about when it comes to their finances?
Well, the first thing I think that anyone should be thinking about is their cash flow. Understand what it is that you've got coming in and what you're spending it on. So put some work into that to begin with. And some of the banks have some great apps to help people to be able to do that. Something else, of course, I think they need to be doing is set a target for their savings, for their down payment, and pay down any debt that they've got going already. So if they want to be able to buy a home at some point down the road, they want to clean up any of that, perhaps some student debt or some credit card debt, get that cleaned up.
What about this incredible change we're seeing? I mean, it's hard to know how real it is that people are moving out of cities because we can do our work remotely as broadband access spreads. People are even spending some of the year abroad in holiday destinations doing their work. Is that going to affect millennial house buying plans, do you think?
Oh, I do think so, actually. I think the millennials are definitely more mobile, and they're more likely to change jobs several times over the years. So as a result, I think that will change for them. But they're also very tech savvy. So that means that more of these gig type jobs, they'll be able to pick them up and be able to do them, as you say, while they're traveling or in a different place. New experiences. This generation likes new experiences.
It's interesting. I wonder, you talk about potential labour shortages. I wonder, will companies be forced to bring back defined benefit pension plans to attract workers? I guess that would be a stretch.
I think that would be a stretch, especially as we've already mentioned, the very low interest rates. I think that more responsibility is going to be placed on the part of the actual contributor.
When you talk to millennials, is there some persistent illusion they're labouring under? Do you have to provide a reality check for younger people, younger clients?
I do, because they've actually been quite nurtured, I think, that group. I have a son that's actually in that group. So they seem to feel quite protected. So definitely, they need to be able to really have an understanding about, this comes back to that cash flow we just talked about, Andy, and that is that have a grip on that, know what you're spending your money on, know what you need to be saving for, and take advantage of the savings plans that exist, like the RSP and the TFSA.
Do we need more financial education in the schools?
I think we we do. I think it's an ongoing exercise. I do think that with all of the technology and the information that's out there and what social media covers, what your channel covers, for example, I think it goes a long ways to educating this millennial generation. They're a lot more aware, I believe, than perhaps prior generations. But that said, is that nothing beats getting in front of a professional. In some cases, it could be the mom or dad, but let's get in front of them and let's talk about it. And this is a group that really enjoys getting into conversations. They like the conversation to be transparent and open. So yeah, I think continued education is obviously very important.
Teresa, thank you very much indeed. Teresa Black Hughes, a wealth advisor at RGF Integrated Wealth Management.